When you travel to the island of Kish, there are a couple of must-sees you shouldn't overlook. We're going to show you a few of them, starting with this traditional twin water reservoir. Back in the old days, in islands such as this that are surrounded with salt water, drinkable water was very scarce and they needed to preserve it. So they built structures like this. As you can see, it has 5 wind towers, and what they did was they directed the wind inside the domes and kept the water cool and fresh.
The original reservoir crumpled years ago, and in 1993, to collect rainwater and to make use of the subterranean waters, they rebuilt it in the image of the historic reservoirs of Yazd. People accessed the water using a passage called Pashir, the direction of which was changed during the reconstruction so that visitors could easily get to these cylindrical pools using steps. This traditional twin reservoir is right next to the ancient city of Harire and was a part of it. If you're interested in the history of Iranian islands, then paying a visit to this ancient city on Kish is a must. The ruins of Harire extend for about 3 square kilometers along the northern coastline and whisper the existence of a very large and cultivated city. The ancient city of Harire was established during the Seljuk era, about 800 years ago. The people who lived here were mostly pearl merchants, fishermen and tradesmen who bartered in drinkable water, date syrup, wood, silk and much, much more.
بر اساس یافته‌های باستانشناسی نشون داده اینجا یک شهر پر رونق و پر رفت و آمدی بوده که بازرگانان زیادی از هندوستان و چین و زنگبار و عربستان به اینجا می اومدن برای تجارت.
Digging began in 1992, and to this day Harire has experienced 5 seasons of excavations.
Very few buildings have been unearthed in the ancient city of Harire, and the Palatian House, the one we're in right now, is one of them.
A 2-story house that apparently belonged to a well-off merchant.
Some of the most important findings have been excavated in this area, and they've helped estimate the age of this ancient city.
Some of these findings are on display at the Harire Museum and include a section of an 8-pointed tile decorated with pieces of oyster shells, capital heads in the Sasanian architectural style, and more. In addition to the Palatian House, a bathhouse, a mosque, and the remains of a trading port have been unearthed.
اینجا در دوره ایلخانان مغول یکی از مهمترین مراکز بازرگانی بوده که بین شرق و غرب ارتباط داشته، در مسیر جاده ابریشم دریایی بوده در خلیج فارس.
The port has a compact architecture with little fortification. Small compartments or rooms built on a high rocky cliff about 10 meters above the water, each having a small and separate vertical stairway. Ships would anchor 25 meters off the coast. Merchants had access to boats that could go under the rocky cliffside and load and unload merchandise through these vertical stairways. This architectural form has not been seen in any other part of the southern coast of Iran. It seems that in 1507, little after the Portuguese captured the island of Hormuz, the ancient city of Harire was abandoned. The remnants of said event on the island is a single cannon. After hearing that merchants bartered sweet water, we were curious to find out just how the island supplied both its residents with drinking water and yet enough to barter with. And so we headed to the underground city of Kariz, where we were told we'd find the answer. You see, in Farsi, Kariz means aqueduct. The visitors area of the Kariz was constructed by Mansour Haj Hosseini in 1989.
15 کیلومتر طول قنات جزیره کیش هست که در این 15 کیلومتر 274 حلقه چاه وجود داره که 74 تاشو شما در این مسیر 1 کیلومتری که الان در حال بازدید هستید خواهید دید.
The 2,500-year-old aqueduct and its underground city are 14 meters below the surface, so the wells are actually on top of you. Recently, the entrance of one of the wells was widened, so we can see the different layers of the ground. The first 7 meters consist of fossilized coral stones that have been formed after tens of millions of years and are tough enough to support this structure without the use of pillars. 2 meters below that you have the green marl, which is perfect for filtering salt water, and in between you have a mixture of the two. All along the path, and especially near the end where you have the museum, in addition to the tools used in its reconstruction, you can see various historical items on display that give you a glimpse of the earthenware and tools used in those days. And just before you reach the end, you get to the payab, that means by the foot of the water.
This is the path people used to get water. Mostly women carrying clay pitchers would walk down these stairs, walk up to the water, fill their pitchers and go back home. They would do this several times to have a sufficient amount of drinkable water throughout the day.
Everything aside, I think the most interesting thing of all is that according to the documented findings, the actual aqueduct was originally carved out of the tough coral stones using hatchets, hammers and axes after years and years of hard labor, simply to preserve the natural water resources of the island. This is Gulnaz Farnudi for Iran.